looks like we are live. All right, looks like we are underway, and from all I can tell, it looks like things are happening. So please leave a comment. Let me know that you are there so that I know that it's not just me and Claudia. Hello, Claudia. Thanks for being here. Let's look over at YouTube. Looks like YouTube is working. Sandra is there. Hello. And yeah, it's freezing on me for some reason. Let me go back to it. All right. Here we go. Looks like it is actually happening. Come on. There we go. All right. And also Connie is there. Good evening. Hello. Welcome. And let me see who else is here in Facebook. Anyone else here? Please say hello if you are there. Thank you. All right. As people come in, let me just kind of get some stuff out of the way. So we, as soon as this is over, we have what's called the Zoom after party. It's the hangout with my subscribers on Patreon. And so if you subscribe there, even if it's a free account, if you do the free subscription, you have the link in your inbox, or you can go to my Facebook, or I have way too many platforms, Patreon page, and the link is there if you're a member. If you're not a member, go join for free if you want, and the link will be there. I'll tell you a little bit about what we're going to do at that Zoom Hangout today. I'm going to bring everyone fully up to date on what's going on with the Shepherds and Wolves record. I'll tell you a little bit tonight about that, but most of the details I'm saving for later. I'm also going to show the artwork that is now finalized, and so I'm going to let everyone see what that looks like. I'm excited about that. Yeah, so that's that among other things. I have some other things planned for that Zoom meeting as well. And Claudia, you are tired, but you made it. I'm glad. All right. So I'm also going to talk a little bit about a thing called the Inner Circle, and that is, it's a little confusing because I've got my Patreon Inner Circle, and I've also got this new thing called the Street Team Inner Circle, and I'm planning to merge those things at some point. And so the new thing, Street Team Inner Circle, has more features that I can use to provide content. So I'm planning on moving over to that one. So if you're a Patreon person, I'm going to talk about how you can migrate. And so we're going to work on that together. Anyway, I'm just sort of waiting to see more names pop in. You guys are being real quiet tonight. And let's see. All right. Hi, Mom and Dad. Over at YouTube. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So this first song is from the Shepherds and Wolves project. It is a song that came out earlier this year. And it's actually going to be, I'll tell you this, it's actually going to be track one of the new record, Shepherds and Wolves. And so it's a song that I wrote about the Good Shepherd. And I don't know if you saw the video that goes with it. Oops, just hit the wrong button, sorry. If you saw the video that goes along with it, it's really fun. It's the arcade, like classic arcade video. So, all right, here we go. This is Bring Me Home. Shepherd, lead me, I will follow. This will be my manifesto, to only go where you go. And when me to guide me, or I will be lost. Come and find me in this misery that I've caused. I'll only go where you go. You left the 99. You traveled far and wide to find me and bring me home. Me through the wolves, but I never doubted you would find me and bring me home. Bring me home. All the other paths have just led me nowhere, and every map has led to a detour. I'll only go where you go. So let your goodness be like a fetter and bind my wandering heart to my good shepherd. I'll only go where you go. You left the 99. You traveled far and wide to find me and bring me home. They threw me to the wolves, but I always knew that you would find me and bring me home. And I was the one that wandered away, so stubborn and so blind and so determined to stray. And you were the one that sought me out. Oh, I was lost, but now I have been found. You left the 99. You traveled far and wide to find me and bring me home. And I was so alone and lost, but you paid the highest cost to find me and bring me home. 99. You traveled far and wide to find me and bring me home. They threw me to the wolves. I always knew that you would find me and bring me, find me and bring me home. So that's "Bring Me Home." It's going to be on the next album, and I realized after I got started that that I had covered up my charts that have the lyrics, and I've only done this. I think I did it on maybe one live stream before, maybe two. I've never performed it live anywhere, and so I suddenly panicked and realized, what if I forget words? It's really possible that I will. So I was trying to, while playing and singing, rearrange things so that I could see my chart. And and I was a little distracted because I just saw on Facebook, hey, Steve Hampel, if you're still here, if you and Carolyn are still here, I'm so sorry to hear about Carolyn's dad. Carolyn's dad, his wife, her dad has just passed away just a few minutes ago. And so we'll be praying for you and your family. I know that Carolyn's mom is also just under a lot of stress with all of this, and so I'm so sorry. Hello there, Rob. Glad you're here, recovering from being sick. And Geraldine, hello. And hey there, Brian. Good to see you, buddy. It's been a long time. And then let me look over at YouTube real quick. And so a few more people popping in there. Hello. Hey, Kenneth and Rick. And some other folks whose names I'm not sure of. Glad you're here. I'm not sure why, but my that's weird. For some reason on YouTube, when I look at it, okay, there it is. The screen had gone black. I wasn't sure why. Okay, so not a big deal. Anyway, so today, just did a song called "Bring Me Home," and talks a little bit about my upcoming album, Shepherds and Wolves, which I'm going to talk more about at the Patreon Zoom. So if you are not a member of my Patreon, you can join for free. You don't have to pay for a subscription. You can join at the free level, and you can still join us for the Zoom. And this one in particular, I'm going to throw down some knowledge. I'm going to talk about the plan for Shepherds and Wolves and when it's going to be coming out. The most I will tell you guys right now is that you will be able to get it before the end of the year, before Christmas time. It's not going to be available elsewhere for some time. I do have a release date, and I'll tell you guys about that later. But I wanted to do another song that kind of fit into that project. I almost recorded this, but I at the last minute kind of pulled back and decided not to. I actually recorded. There's a song I recorded that is not going to be on the record, even though I spent quite a bit of money, a few $1,000s recording it. I decided that it needed to come off of the record. So anyway, so that occasionally happens. Sometimes you make decisions, and then when you get into the studio, even after you've spent some money, you decide, this isn't. It's not fitting, or I have too many songs, or too many songs about this subject and not enough songs about that subject, things like that. So this was one though that I loved the idea of it. Shepherds and Wolves is about the wolves that find their way into the church sometimes, and the shepherds that are there who are supposed to protect the flock, and then also stuff about the good shepherd. And so this is a song that I remember. I was working on this project, writing some of these songs, and we sang this in church. And while we were singing it, I just thought, these lyrics are just so on topic for this project. So I'm going to sing it today, even though it's not going to be on the record. Maybe I'll record it someday, because I do love it. And it's called Yet Not I, But Through Christ in Me. What gift of grace is Jesus my Redeemer? There is no more for heaven now to get. He is my joy, my righteousness and freedom, my steadfast love, my deep and boundless peace. To this I hope, my hope is only Jesus, for my life is wholly bound to His. Oh, how strange and divine, I can say all is mine, yet not I, but through Christ in me. Well, the night is dark, but I am not forsaken, for by my side the Savior He will stay. I labor on in weakness and rejoicing, for in my need His power is displayed. Here's the verse that I love. To this I hold, my shepherd will defend me. Through the deepest valley He will lead. Oh, the night has been won, and I shall overcome, yet not I, but through Christ in me. No fate I dread, I know I am forgiven. The future sure, and the price it has been paid. For Jesus bled and suffered for my pardon, and He was raised to overthrow the grave. To this I hope, my sin has been defeated. Jesus now and ever is my plea. Oh, the chains are released, I can sing, I am free, and not I, but through Christ in me. With every breath, I long to follow Jesus, for he has said that he will bring me home. And day by day, I know he will renew me until I stand with joy before his throne. To this I hope, my hope is only Jesus. All the glory evermore to him. When the race is complete, still my lips shall repeat, yet not I, but through Christ in me. When the race is complete, still my lips shall repeat, yet not I, but through Christ in me. Yet not I, but through Christ in me. Amen. So, like I said, that song felt like it would fit really well into the Shepherds and Wolves project. It even says it says, for he has said that he will bring me home. Bring me home. That's the song I just sang a minute ago. So, yeah, I could easily have put that on this record, but I'll save it for another time. So I'm going to talk about Shepherds and Wolves, the album, and I'm going to read you the lyric to one of the songs. And I'm not ready to play the song live yet. I will eventually. But it's a hard one for me, and I thought let me start off by just kind of sharing the lyric with you guys. It's kind of brutal, and it's the most raw thing that I've ever written. In fact, the way that most of it was written was fairly stream of consciousness. I just sat down and typed and typed and typed and typed, and went back and tried to fashion that into a song. But very quick, let me kind of look here. So got some, hey, thank you guys. That's very kind of you. Some nice comments. All right. And of course, I can't get back to the Facebook page. It's not letting me do it for some reason. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right. So, all right. Hey there, Ingrid. So this lyric, it's a song called "The End of the World," and this is not a fun one, but I feel like it's really important. It's important for me, and it says some things that I feel like I really needed to work out, and maybe you'll relate to some of this, and maybe one of the reasons why art exists is to help us relate to one another, to actually understand each other's stories and to see ourselves in other people. And so if an artist, if a songwriter or a writer or whatever chooses to only produce happy stuff that doesn't really reflect the truth of their lives, there's a shallowness to that. And so I wanted very much to write some things that were more honest than that. So Shepherds and Wolves, the album, is about, as I said earlier, it's about the wolves that lurk sometimes in the church and the shepherds that sometimes fail to protect the flock from those wolves. And ultimately, it's about the good shepherd. And it's also about finding peace and joy again after grief, after believing there is no way that I can ever be happy again. Nothing good is ever going to come again. I definitely experienced that. And so the album is about all those hard things, but it's also about the hope and the peace that can come on the other side of that. And so I started writing a little over 2 years ago. I wrote a song called "The Song of the Wolf." And it's one of my favorite things I've ever written. But when I was done writing it, I thought, man, I think this is really good. But it's one of those songs I'm not going to be able to share with anybody because it's so personal and it's dark and kind of bloody. And and I just thought, I don't think it was about my personal situation dealing with a predator. I couldn't stop coming back to the song and thinking, boy, I know there are other people who are going to relate to this. And still others who don't have that kind of experience, and it might help them understand a little bit better what it's like when someone who is trusted in the church actually does evil things. And so I wrote Song of the Wolf, and I started thinking, what if I write some other songs that are kind of providing context to that? So I thought, what else can I write about? So writing about the shepherds in the church that are often very successful at defending the flock, and sometimes they fail. What about writing about the good shepherd? And so the second song I wrote was called it's called Song of the Shepherd. And so I started with Song of the Wolf. The next song was called Song of the Shepherd, and the final song was called Song of Peace. And that really outlines the journey that I went on in my life and in creating this album, Shepherds and Wolves. So I'm going to read the lyrics. I'm kind of stalling because I don't want to do it. I'm going to read the lyrics to End of the World. In fact, before I do that, I'm going to play you just a clip. This is the first time anyone other than my producer and the mix engineer and myself, first time anyone will have heard this. This is a little clip to show you what End of the World sounds like. I think it's very beautiful. The strings are gorgeous in it. But it's a very heavy song, but I think with a very beautiful track. So I'm going to play just a little tiny bit of it. This is the End of the World.
At the end of the world, so is it all part of some?
So it's beautiful, but it's also kind of tense. It's got that guitar that's kind of like a clock ticking in a way. And so that was the idea of that. And so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and read the lyric. Part of the deep grief that I experienced and that I was going through that this album is a reflection of is about the end of my marriage. After 30 years, well, I'm not going to comment on what led to the end of the marriage, other than to say that I didn't want it and that I was faithful and that I did everything I could to stop it. But I was unable to do that. And so this song came out of a very surreal experience that I had during that whole process, where I'm looking around at everyone else and they're making plans for lunch and they're going to work and going to the coffee shop and meeting friends for a movie or whatever. They're just going about their life. They're still living. And I'm looking around and thinking, don't they know that the world has ended? I mean, how are they continuing to go on? I felt completely disconnected from every human being around me. And so that's where this song came from. So here we go. I'm going to read it, and I'm super nervous. But I know that you guys are safe and that it's going to be okay. So again, this is the song, The End of the World, and stick around for the end of this. If this gets heavy, don't go away, because the end of it, I think, is redemptive. It was the end of the world, but the world kept on turning. And the darkest of nights, though the lights were still burning, every face that I passed seemed alive and full of purpose, unaware that the end of the world was upon us. With my own eyes, I saw my whole life start to crumble. Broken glass underfoot as I pressed through the rubble. Still, the shoppers bought groceries and planned their vacations and made breakfast and lunch and dinner reservations. Like nothing was different. Like nothing had changed here at the end of the world. So is it all part of some kind of plan I can't fathom? Just rehearsing the curse all the way back to Adam. All I know is I'm waiting at the end of my rope, still believing your goodness and daring to hope, but everything's different. Everything's changed here at the end of the world. Because I saw the mountains collapse and the seas turn to blood and the forests ablaze and the rivers in flood and the sky turning black under great mushroom clouds, and I knew there was no hope for anyone now. And the very worst thing I could ever imagine is a God who is there but doesn't care or take action. all the power, all awareness, but somehow indifferent. And in the silence, I'm wondering where all of my prayers went. Because everything's different. Everything has changed here at the end of the world. Now, that was the end of the song. That was where it ended. And I came back weeks later and looked at it again and thought, this represents how I felt during that time period of my life. But it is not where I am now. And so I added another verse. And I feel like it reflects the processing that I've been doing. So, I really love that. The very worst thing I could ever imagine is God who is there but doesn't care or take action, because that's how it felt. So here's the last verse. Driven down to my knees with my face to the earth, I am praying for peace, and I'm trusting your word that out of all of this death, you will still bring rebirth here at the end of the world. Now, that may not seem hopeful to you, but trust me, it is. Kind of the best you can hope for after going through something devastating is a glimmer of hope and the awareness that, okay, I'm going to be all right somehow. And when you're in the thick of it, it's impossible to believe that. It really is. To think that you could possibly survive this doesn't seem likely. So that's my song. Like I said, I was super nervous about sharing that, but that is The End of the World, and the darkest thing that I've ever written, I'm sure, but I think also the most honest. So I'll check the comments later, but I'm going to do a song. I was thinking about, okay, so if I share that lyric for End of the World, I want what I do to be redemptive and encouraging. And so I was thinking, what song could I do after singing about the end of the world? And it's by one of my favorite songwriters, Rich Mullins. This is Bound to Come Some Trouble. There's bound to come some trouble to your life, but that ain't nothing to be afraid of. There's bound to come some trouble to your life, and that ain't no reason to fear. There's bound to come some trouble to your life, but reach out to Jesus and hold on tight. He's been there before and he knows what it's like, and you'll find he's there. There's bound to come some tears up in your eyes. That ain't nothing to be ashamed of. There's bound to come some tears up in your eyes, and that ain't no reason to fear. There's bound to come some tears up in your eyes, but reach out to Jesus and hold on tight. He's been there before and he knows what it's like, and you'll find he's there, he's there. Now people say maybe things will get better, and people say maybe it won't be long, and people say maybe you'll wake up tomorrow and it'll all be gone. Well, I only know that maybes, they just ain't enough when you need something to hold on. There's only one thing. Oh, there's there's just one thing that's clear. There's bound to come some trouble. There's bound to come some trouble into your life. That ain't nothing to be afraid of. There's bound to come some tears up in your eyes, and that ain't no reason to fear. There's bound to come some trouble into your life, but reach out to Jesus and hold on tight. He's been there before and he knows what it's like. And you'll find he's there. Oh, you'll find he is there. That's what I want to leave you with tonight. Your good shepherd is there, even when it doesn't feel like it. You'll find that he's there. Well, everybody, thank you for being here. In just about 5 minutes, we're going to have our Zoom call, and like I said, I'm going to share more specifically about what's happening with Shepherds and Wolves, when the record's going to come out, what it's going to look like. I'm going to share the artwork with you guys, and I'm also going to talk about the new Street Team Inner Circle thing that I want to invite you to be a part of. So anyway, I'm excited about that. I should check in and see more comments. It's been kind of quiet tonight, and thank you, Geraldine. I appreciate that. Thank you, Sandra. Yeah. All right. Well, very kind words. Thank you. I appreciate all that, guys. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, as I always say, we do this live stream thing on the first and the third Thursday of every month. And I mentioned the Street Team thing. I'm actually thinking about migrating the live stream there, so that it will be a little easier to find exactly, because on Facebook, I can't send you a link for where it's going to be. You have to go to Facebook and find it, which is a pain. YouTube, I can at least give you a link, but so I might make Street Team a place where I do that as well. So anyway, I'll tell you more about that as things develop, and if you're in the Patreon group, you'll get to get those details in just a few minutes. So again, thank you guys for being here. Thanks for not shattering my fragile ego by telling me that my lyrics are terrible. I do feel like End of the World is a hard one, but I hope that it is redemptive. I really do. So, all right, that's it. You guys have a fantastic evening, and Patreon folks, I'll see you